Hey, what's going on? Forgot to do one thing. If with all the things going on, I got distracted. I was texting a buddy of mine who lives in Texas to make sure that he was all right. Thankfully, he is. Um, Not that I could really ever do anything from where I am to help him, but it's good to hear that your friends are doing well. Um, Give me 2 seconds. I am retweeting that I'm live on the coloristjam account, and then we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into it. Let me retweet myself again. I know it's like this is riveting right now, but here we are. Okay, all right. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, what's going on? I skipped a art stream, and I'm paying for it. I have 3 streams because I streamed a Skies of Arcadia stream instead of an art stream. I'm streaming twice a week, and because of that, I have three game streams ready to go on YouTube and no art streams anymore. I've like caught up on to myself, so I'm gonna try to do an additional stream sometimes on Saturdays, Saturday mornings, hopefully, and we're gonna do some games or some extra art streams. Then I don't know. We'll do something, but I think that it's going to be a good thing. I think that it's going to let me kind of be flexible with the streaming a little bit, adding like a wildcard stream. How will we know if it's going to be art or games? I'll announce it and I'll put it up on Twitter. My Twitter is, of course, @NickPhil. We're going to be trying to do an art stream, maybe trying to finish off those Fresno night crawlers that we started drawing. I got kind of an idea for how to rearrange them a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. In other news, let's kick it over here. I finished the Pascagoula River abduction. This was in Mississippi. 2 people were abducted by aliens. I know this isn't strictly cryptids, but you got to cut me some slack because some states are lousy with cryptids and some states are not. And Mississippi, this was not only that, but this was like a big deal for Mississippi. Well, not. I mean, I don't know. As far as abductions go, this was in the early 70s. It got like a ton of publicity. The big deal about it was 2 people who corroborated each other's stories independently and then together. And there's like tapes from the police department that you can hear by searching online. Those tapes, corroborate their story. It's an interesting tale. There's also a landmark at the Pascagoula River where that the city of Pascagoula put up to commemorate where the abduction happened, which is kind of neat. So there's that. I finished that. So we're on track for 2 cryptids a month if I finish up the night crawlers. And the other thing that happened is there's a new coloristjam. If you're not following @coloristjam, you definitely should. I am helping with the account along with Marissa. We're both. You've heard of those? Those tapes are interesting. They are interesting. Yeah, I also put up that little chat box right there. So a buddy of mine, Kevin Mellon, he said that my streams are kind of weird because he didn't know who I was talking to. And I try to repeat what you guys are saying so that people understand that I'm talking to somebody, but I don't know. Maybe we're gonna try it. We're gonna try it with the chat box up there. Yeah, so you should be following the coloristjam. So what is the coloristjam? I say this every time just in case that it's somebody's first coloristjam that they're checking out and they're checking out this video. The coloristjam is we take a piece of line art by a professional artist and we all color it. And you see, by coloring it, It serves a couple of different purposes. The first thing that it goes to show you is that like coloring is an art form. It's a skill that you can cultivate, just like drawing, just like writing, just like anything else. It's not just, you know, take out the box of crayons and fill it in. The other thing is it lets you see how other people are thinking about the art in addition to yourself with the same line art. So you can really like compare and contrast approaches. So if you're looking to grow, participate as a colorist, participating in the Colorist Jam is a great way to do it. The other thing that it does is it showcases some people in the industry that we think are maybe underappreciated. This Colorist Jam is by Ian Fay. I believe I'm pronouncing that right, F-A-Y. We are doing a mummy jam, and here are some pieces that people have done already. Ian's is up here too. We only have a few in so far. The new jam goes live every 15th. So yeah, we're rolling on this. Look at this one. This is bold. That's cool. I like bold. A lot of people doing some like cool shadow work, which I'm excited to also do. This one's from Hank Jones, friend of the stream, friend of the Comic Cons. See him at shows. Got the color with the pop of his eyes. That's cool. Yeah, we passed. Oh, I wanted to say, this one was very clever. This one was very clever. I enjoyed it. Yeah. So we have a few in, and this is Ian. This is him coloring his own work. Looks fantastic. Of course, he colors his own work very, very well. So let's get into what we're going to be doing. Here's the actual jam. It does not have this folder. I added this. This is my inspo folder. So I kind of wanted to make this, like the mummy has a distinct palette to it. And so I wanted to make a palette for the mummy and see if we could stick to the palette. This is something that I don't normally do. Normally, I kind of go in and I just do like I mix the colors as I want, and I have enough experience and control over the palettes that, like, if for example, like I don't want green or whatever, like I just won't use green. Like I have enough experience to kind of shift away and do what I want to do. So let's check out this inspo folder. So this was, these were two shots that I kind of was drawing inspiration from. The Mummy is a very like brown, rusty movie. However, there are some shots that are kind of like night scenes. And so these are just mosaic patterns of this stuff. So what I did was I took stuff like this. We're gonna copy it. You can't copy it because the thing is empty because we're on the wrong thing. We're gonna copy it, paste it in here. I'm gonna show you how to build a palette from, it would be nice if I prepped this all in advance, but you know what? Here we are. We're going to work on building a palette from images. So you could take something like this. We're gonna crop it a little bit because we're having a lot of like transparencies and stuff. So here's this, and to get to these, we're not cropping. All we had to do is take the still image that we have here, select it, filter, pixelate, mosaic, and you can get it as general or as refined as you like. That's all I did to get those. Okay, so once we have those, we have them in a document here. And now we're coloring. So what does that mean? That means we can't really go too dark. If we go too dark, we start to drown out the line art. We don't want to do that. So one of the things that I like to do, we're gonna duplicate this because I do want it on a layer. I'll set the tolerance for the wand to 20, and like things that are just too dark, colors that are just, these colors are just too dark, so we're just going to get rid of them. We could probably keep those. So we end up with something like this. Maybe we could go, let's back it up again. So by putting the tolerance at 20, you're going more general, you're casting a wider net. If it was 0, it would be that specific color. If it's like 100 or 1,000, it'd just be everything. You want to think about it like that. So we're selecting dark colors and we're deleting them. I guess we can roll with this. So from here, we can go to image, mode, indexed color. So here's our indexed color. This is using a specific set of colors. From here, we can go mode, color table. From here, we have a saved color table. And some of these are a little dark. Like this guy's a little dark, this guy's a little dark. That's fine. I prepped this beforehand, so we're not going to actually use this table. But we can click save it however you want, and then load it up from this menu. Import swatches. You can import swatches from a color table. So I made this set of colors from using this process. The only reason I didn't follow through and show you the entire process was because I didn't want to like load my desktop and have you guys, sorting through all my files or showing something I'm working on that's not announced yet or whatever. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's chuck this inspo. And let's look at what we got as far as let's look at what we got as far as the file goes. So we have SFX. What is this? What is this layer? This layer is nothing. This layer is nothing. So we're just going to chuck that. We're going to chuck the inspo as well. I think I know what we're doing. This is the line art. So this looks like it's kind of set up a little weird, a little different than what I necessarily like. What's going on here is like we have a black swatch that is basically like filling the whole canvas. And then you have color holds on top, so that when we color, let's use a very bright color. So when we color, we're colorizing the line art. But in reality, we can select this entire thing. We're just doing this. We're just creating like a block of color, which works. This is all set up very well. It's just not how I particularly like to set things up. Sometimes I like the blacks mixing with some of the color holds and not having like clear defined color holds. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna copy this so that we preserve the line art, chuck that. We are going to add a black. I don't know if this is the right black. You know, 60, 60, 40, 100. This is super black. This prints well. And then we're just going to, oh, we don't even have to invert it. It's already inverted. We're all good. There we go. There's our line art. One simple layer, done deal. And then we can still do the color holds if we wish by just selecting color and just coloring on here. Just simple one layer, done deal. What is this? Top layer. Don't know what this is. We're gonna chuck it. We have flats and then like a duplicated flats, I think. That is actually really good. I'm gonna lock this and unlock the flats. And then the selections are locked. So we're just, all the selection does is foreground and background. All right. We're oriented with the file. We got it set up how we want to do it. Let's get in there and kick our wand tolerance back down to 5. They did back leg and the leg in the back and the leg in the front, huh? Oh, this is set to 0. There we go. And we're just gonna fill it in using the palette that we have. I don't necessarily need to completely stick to this palette. Like a brassy color, and like maybe a white. I'm already, by the way, I am already frustrated with trying to stick to this palette and not just being like, I know what I want, you know? But we're trying to do it. We're trying it. We're trying it out. And you know, for seasoned pros, people who have been doing coloring for a long time like me, that's the other thing that the Colorist Jam is. The Colorist Jam is an opportunity to just try new things. I try to, with every Colorist Jam, try a technique that I've never used before, or try something that, you know, it's just going to be different. Gun's going to be all gray, right? Right? And then handles will be brown. Everything is so brown. And these guys will not be flesh colored, because that's weird. We're going to do all of the skin tone. All right, so I got it to like a place where, oh, and we can change the background here. I got it to a place where we've only used from the palette. And to tell you the truth, like, you know, we're already like, if you're struggling with palettes, like what we just did is kind of like a nice half step. Like we just took kind of a half step to like figuring out a palette. We've limited ourselves to just this. However, I think that we might need to take some liberties, because I want to spice it up. I already want to break out of this palette. The restriction I've set, that's basically what's going on. It's the restriction I've set I actually don't want to do anymore. But let's see if we can roll with it. So my idea was to maybe put him in shadow rather than a lot of the jam. A lot of what people are doing with color is they're placing him in light, like he's in the desert, which makes sense. Totally makes sense. I kind of wanted to get a little more moody with the color than that. We're gonna take a color here and just wash them. We don't want them like too purpley. I'm cheating right now from the palette. We want them kind of blue. We're also working, by the way, we're working in RGB. Some of these colors, I think this one for sure. Yeah, if you get this little, give him Sonic the Hedgehog treatment, no problem. You got it. I mean, he's starting to look like Sonic, isn't he? Don't you think? I think he kind of is. Let's just full stop. Give him the Sonic the Hedgehog. We're starting to get there. I cheated a little bit by using the sliders. I'm not gonna lie. There's a little bit of cheating going on. We want like a purple. Maybe not. What if we take I know, I'm trying not to. The whole point of this is I'm trying to like push myself to only use this palette up here that I made for the mummy. And I crafted it from stills of the mummy. Like, okay, maybe we don't need to worry about the background quite yet. Oh, we're on the wrong layer. We're just gonna put that in for the background for now. We're just gonna get into the Brendan. We're just gonna get deep in Brendan for a second here. Get out the art glove. Art is about to happen. Okay. Let's just do like a pass on this. Let's just like take man, what if he was in shadow up top but not down below? Like in like the bluish kind of shadow. That'd be kind of interesting. Maybe we'll try that. So anyway, here we are, working by selecting out the highlights and leaving the shadows, and we're just gonna like multiply down a like probably like a brownish or a rust color. We're gonna try that first, see how it goes. Part of the reason why I didn't want to linger too much on Ian's art, because he did a great job with the coloring, and I also didn't want to get too influenced by what he was doing. So I've been trying to not look at it, because he did a very like, he had a very clear vision for his colors. And I don't want to do something similar to what he's doing. So we're just gonna kind of get into it. So how's it going, guys? We haven't talked about writers versus artists yet this year, have we? By the way, I've got a 14-page comic all laid out and ready to go, in addition to the river aliens I showed you in the beginning of the stream. I'm like very excited about it. I thought that I was going to work on it a little bit this week. In fact, I've been, and I know that like we're all punk rock, we're all, you know, flying by the seat of our pants, but I've started kind of like keeping a work journal. I know. It's like the lamest thing in the world, but it's kind of keeping me on task, because I'm trying to do multiple things at once, and it's a good place to brainstorm ideas. And I've been trying to come up with a good generic, you know how like Tales from the Crypt is like a good generic horror name. You can do like any kind of story. I've been trying to come up with a good name for my horror comic short stories. I don't know. I've been brainstorming some ideas. I've got one that I feel like, I've got one that's a little too Twittery. It's like too much of a Twitter meme. I don't want to date it, you know? Yes, you're very punk rock. You're the Avril Lavigne of comics. Oh my God. You were, man, there's no good comics thing that ends in like later, like skater. You were an inker cartoonist. She said later, boy. Oh God, none of this works. I'm gonna write this down in my journal so that I don't remember, so I remember not to do this again. at any rate, I feel like I've been like kind of more productive. And in this week, I was like, I don't think I have any coloring work to do. And I wrote down in the week, I was like, all bangers. We're just crushing it all week. I was like trying to motivate myself, and then I found out I have work to do. So, like actual work. So, I mean, I'm still gonna crush it. I'm gonna crush that work week, crush that 9 to 5. But for a second there, I thought I was gonna get to live like a penciler for a week. It didn't really work out that way. It's all right. We're just gonna do 10 pages by the weekend, and then play some Skies of Arcadia on the weekend, or do some more art streams or whatever. Maybe both. But I did get those river aliens done, so maybe it is all bangers. I don't know. But I'm really excited to get that done and make like a test print, like comic. I kind of realized when I was laying it out that I was doing it with basically like sheets. Like I wanted to put the spreads, the double page spreads together. There's no double page spreads in the book, but I wanted to know what each page looked like next to each other. So when I was doing the layouts, I was doing 2 and 2, 2 and 2, like that. And I didn't realize it when I started doing it that way, but in doing it that way, I'm essentially making sheets of paper. Like take 11 by 17, it's 2 pages, like folded, and then you flip it and it's 2 pages. So I know exactly that it's going to be in those 14 pages, it's going to be 4 sheets of paper plus a cover, which is going to be another sheet. So, man, I'm not paying attention at all to where the light source is on this. Do we even need light sources anymore? Is that even a thing? I was watching K. Michael Russell, and I think he thinks it's a thing, but I don't know if we need them. Yeah, I'm coming after you. Coming after you, Kurt. Not really. I'm not really coming after you. I was watching him, and because I like picking up on seeing how other people work. Kurt's a really good person to watch because he walks through everything. I've been watching Rachel Rosenberg as well lately. She's an excellent colorist. But I found that I work radically different than both of these people. Like Kurt is very analytical and different. It would be the most gentle feud. Yes. It would not, the feud would not last long. It'd be like you're off the rails, Russell, and then I'd be like, and then he'd be like, you've gone too far this time, Filardi, and then we just go get a beer. Yeah, I can't imagine it lasting very long. I don't like feuds. There's no time to be angry at people. What I was gonna say was that both these people work very differently from the way I work. Rachel works dark to light, like almost exclusively, and will work on every single object in the panel, like kind of one at a time. From what I could tell, I don't know if she's coloring differently on stream or trying a different technique or what, but from what I could tell, that's kind of how she was working. Kurt doesn't really work dark to light. He kind of does. Now I'm thinking about it. Am I the weirdo? Oh no, I was the weirdo the whole time. I work like middle value out. Is that weird? Uh, I am the warm, like Canson, or what is it? Is it Canson? Canon, uh, colored paper of the art world. I'm like working from the middle value and like trying to make sense of everything else. I don't know. But how I work compared to both these people is far looser. Like I am starting to realize that like one of the things that I like leaning into is letting happy accidents happen. And the only way to like really let accidents happen is if you get really loose, like you stop thinking about stuff. So here's my advice to you if you want to make comics: just stop thinking about stuff. Just turn the brain off. This is what worked for me. This is what my advice is. Turn the brain off, stop thinking about it, and just start chucking stuff down at the page. And then you know you're done when you have something good, and you know you're not done when it's hot garbage. That's the old Nick Filardi school of comics right there. Like you take a minute and you go, wait, is this hot garbage? If the answer is yes, you're not done. All right, let's fill this in and we can kind of work from here. We're going to use this rusty brown. All right, so we kind of have something going on here. Man, this is some boring lighting. We should have thought about this. I blame you guys. Stop thinking about stuff. Think about things. Exactly. All right. We're obviously not done because we're still in the hot garbage phase. Should we? Man, I feel like I'm doing this a lot in the colorist jams. Maybe in my work in general, where I let me actually pull up a previous jam. Give me a second here. We're gonna go into the jams of yesteryear. And let me find it. Take a stroll with me down the halls of infamy to the jams of yesteryear. Okay. I feel like we're headed in the same direction here. Because my impulse was to darken him up top and lighten him on the bottom. And I think we did the same thing with this jam. And I was thinking about also adding like a secondary light source around him, kind of. And I don't want to do the same thing. So let's think about what we should do. What should we do? Should we pull from the bottom? Like darken from the bottom, keep him up here, keep him in the eyes. The old Brendan. Give him the old Brendan. Maybe. Does giving him the old Brendan disgust you like it does me? The cool thing about this lav mic is that you guys can get to hear me swallow a lot. This is the most professional art stream on Twitch, by the way. just high quality content. How did I ever make anything? I think that we're gonna start to deviate from this because like, I think that if well, maybe not. Let's select, we don't need you anymore, wind charger. See you later. If you want to grab that wind charger line art, by the way, also part of the colorist jam. And hey, this is something I've been wanting to do more often, is like promote the stuff that needs promoting, not only at the end, but maybe a little bit in the middle. You should join my Discord. There's a link in the like about me section on Twitch. There's links to all my social media and to my Discord. Join us in there. I'm in there every single day. We talk about what's going on in comics. We talk about what's going on in video games, what we're playing, what we like, what we don't like, post art that we found online that we're into. Not really so much talking about what we don't like, because I don't like to talk about what we don't like. This is a Mobius strip conversation. What we do talk about is stuff that we're into, which is what I always like, stuff that we're excited about. Ooh, this is kind of neat. We're kind of in a weird space. Give me that weird, Brendan. Getting in that weird space. Yes. All right, let's work on some skin tones. We're gonna do the background last. I think the background is gonna clutch this thing together. In fact, let's just, actually I kind of like this. Don't look at this. We're gonna make the background super light, so it hopefully does not affect our decision making in the slightest. Let's work on his skin. So obviously we're like deep into beefcake territory with this piece. That's pretty transparent. If you're watching this, congratulations, you just had an extra 800 calories because we're deep in the beefcake. I'm just kind of putting values in that I think might work. Like I said, don't think about things. I mean, don't think about stuff, only think about things. Where we want to be is off the rails. And the only way we get off the rails is if we loosen up. God, so tense. So this whole chat room's so tense, just needs a quick massage. I don't know what I'm saying. But I do believe that loosening up, especially at early stages within the Brendan. God, what am I saying? Brendan's got me all turned around. The damn Brendan. Early stages within composition, like we're thinking, you always want to go general to specific, and I think we got those right now. Yeah. When you're at this stage, like notice we're not zooming in and trying to get every little detail. Right now we're just staying zoomed out so that we can get in here. I need like a red. Is there no red? There's like, this is as red as we get. This is as red as we get. I gotta make him look like he has blood, you know? We just look into the Brendan's eyes and think about his blood. That's what we need to be doing. What was I saying? What we need to do at this stage is stay as loose as possible, because we're going to find all our happy accidents here. We want to be thinking about, not about very specific noodling, We want to get general still, which is why we're not like totally zoomed in. Let's kind of play with the space here on his face. Obviously, we're not going to go too. We're going to keep his face fairly less less of a value change within it, because like we're making a lot of marks, and that's not really where we want to be, especially on a face like this, in art like this, because it should be registering to our brain as like kind of soft. So obviously this is going to take a little while to get kind of right and punched up. We're just kind of fucking around. We're just kind of screwing around in the meantime. Trying to, obviously, I haven't seen Doom Patrol yet. Don't spoil Doom Patrol. I've been wanting to watch it. We actually just signed up for HBO Prime. I actually didn't even realize I was getting HBO Prime, HBO Plus, HBO Max. God, what is it? Streaming services. What even are they? We just realized that we got HBO Max because we are on AT&T internet, and so we get it for free. So I was like, oh, we should set this up. And they just, HBO Flix, Net Prime, yeah, exactly. And they just, for a while there, I was like, well, I'm not gonna bother because they don't have a Roku app. This is all riveting, by the way. You guys, I could tell you guys are really interested in an old man talking about Roku. So they finally made the Roku app under pressure from, I think, everyone. And so we signed up, we set it up. So I've only had it for a few months. We've watched, you wouldn't believe any spoilers you heard anyway, because of how absurd the show gets. If it's anything like the comics, I read the new Young Animal Doom Patrol, and it's totally great. You guys should all read it. We're gonna talk about some serious stuff in a minute once I get going here. But yeah, so we've watched what have we watched on HBO Max? Watched the new Wonder Woman, obviously, and no spoilers too, because I know that there's some regions where HBO Max isn't even available yet. Like I think in like Latin America, they're just gonna get it soon. But yeah. We've watched the new Wonder Woman, which it's okay. We watched the new Harley Quinn cartoon, which is freaking awesome. But I think we kind of hit a point where we were like wanting to watch some stuff that was not superheroes. Like I was ready to move on to Doom Patrol or The Boys. We haven't watched The Boys yet either. That's not on HBO Flix. That's on another provider. I think the skin is okay for where we want it for now. We're gonna jazz all this up. Don't think that like I'm just like skin's done, we're moving on. Jazz hands. That's where we're at. That's where you want to be at. Mentally, that's where I'm at all the time. In here, it's all jazz hands. The Boys is only slightly less absurd. Yeah, that's a comic I haven't read, unfortunately. But I don't know, man. When it's like ultra violent, I don't know that it's my jam. Dang, some peeps being mad creative. It's all jazz hands, up and down the line. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Show is better than the comic? Huh. One of the few cases Has there ever been a show that's better, or show or movie that's better than the comic? You might want to skip that comic. Tosses down a lot of Garth Ennis self-indulgences. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Show does a good job. I think like my standard that I was holding up for shows that do better than the shows or movies that do better than the comic was Men in Black. For a long time, I was holding that up as like that's the one. That's the one that does it better. But I don't know. There's so much out there now that like it's like, God, I don't know. Maybe the Road to Perdition is better than the comic. I don't know. Men in Black was a comic. Yes, it was a comic first, dude. Way back when. Dark Horse book, I think. Long before anybody ever associated Will Smith with the role, Agent K was just a cartoon. Well, I'm 100, so I mean, how old are you? Man, by the way, one of the things I used to really like to do when my brother's kids were young, when they were like young, inquisitively young, but still like kids, you know, I would tell them that I just had like my 120th birthday, that the plane ride was so long to come see them that like I actually had a birthday on the plane. I would say stuff like that, and they'd be like, I remember when they were like, no way. And then they got a little bit older and they were like, suspicious. You got to cultivate that suspicious relationship with children while they're young. In case you don't know, that's what you got to be doing with young children. But yeah, like there's some of these comics like Atomic Blonde was a Oni Press book before it was a movie. So like, I don't know, there's like stuff that came out that I can't keep track of everything and I can't read everything. Heard Old Boy's better than the manga. Yeah, possible. I've seen the movie, I haven't read the manga. I just started reading 20th Century Boys. Well, started reading. I read the first like giant phone book omnibus, and then I just sat down to start reading the second. One of the things that I wanted to do in general was start reading some of the books that I have on my shelf that I've been telling myself I'm going to read, that have just been sitting there. And I was like, I'm going to get through this. I had like the first trade, right? And I'm like, and the goal was to like get rid of some stuff, you know, read the book, enjoy it, decide if I want to keep it or if I want to give it away to some friends, which is how I approach most physical media now. And I was like, all right, I gotta comb through this stuff. And I read that first trade and I was like, this is great. I want to read more. And instead of getting rid of things, what I did, because I'm a genius, is I'm like, oh, I read this one phone book thing. I'm going to need 10 more phone books, because like apparently that's what's going on with that series. So yeah, I read the next two, or I read the next one. I have 3. But now I need 7 more. So yeah, I know it is a great series. It's a slow burn, and my buddy Boyks, who's also a friend of the stream and in the Discord, was chatting about it in my Discord. He was saying that it like has a logical stopping point. Obviously, no spoilers, but it has like kind of a logical stopping point somewhere in there that like you don't necessarily need to keep going, but it kind of keeps meandering after that. I don't know. I'm kind of interested in that. Some like we were talking about how The Boys is a little maybe self-indulgent, but there's something about like a creative person being self-indulgent that I'm like, what are we really getting at? What are we trying right now? You know? I think that stuff is oftentimes kind of brushed aside by people who don't necessarily make a lot of things, that if you come to it with the right mindset, you can kind of be like, okay, what's really going on here, kind of thing. What are we really looking at? Yeah, I heard that Pluto is actually his best series, and that I had a couple of people be like, you should start with that, and I was like, okay, and then I started reading 20th Century Boys. I think maybe I tried to get it, and then 20th Century Boys, I think I maybe tried to find it, or Pluto, tried to find it, and I found a copy of 20th Century Boys 1, and I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna jump in. But I've been on kind of a manga kick lately. Monster is also very good, but a little too long. Yeah, so I see a theme. Pluto's short and sweet. It's only like a few volumes. Anyway, I started making a manga list of like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have not read a ton of manga. I've only started in the last couple of years. That is way too red. Add a little bit of blue in there. I've only started in the last couple of years, so there's a lot of like older series that I want to read to jump in on. But here's the thing about manga. It's so long. It's so long. Like, I read the first trade of Berserk and I was like, Naruto, no. We're not Robert Wilson IV. Robert was like, I'm interested in getting into Naruto, the manga, because I heard it was good. And you know what he did? He went on eBay or somewhere, the dark recesses of the internet, places that no human being should be. And Robert went and got himself like 100 Naruto books, like just a crate of Naruto. I heard it's awesome. He really enjoyed his purchase, but like, I only have so much time in the day. I can only read so many books, and manga is a big commitment. Like, I'm looking down the barrel of, and I don't know if you would necessarily call this manga, but I would like to finish Usagi Yojimbo this year, read all of it and get all caught up. And that's already like a huge endeavor. And then like trying to add 20th Century Boys, like I'm 800 pages into 20th Century Boys, and I'm like 1/5 of the way in it, you know? Like, it's a lot. I can only read so many pages a year. Said the one that follows One Piece. Yeah, right, exactly. Junji Ito's a good one for shorter commitments. Yeah, I banged through like 5 of his books last year. The one about the spirals was probably my favorite. Although Shiver had some really good stories in there as well. All right, we got a very soft boy on our hands right here with this Brendan. But yeah, so I started making a list of mangas to read so I can like, again, I need to focus, which is why I have a work journal. It's also why I am jotting down mangas that I need to read so that I can like kind of keep track. So I don't do what I did, which is like I read like one trade of Berserk, and I was like, this looks good. And then I was like, oh no, there's so much of it. And then I was like, oh God, what have I gotten myself into? And I was like, I can't read this right now. I need to do something else. I got to work on something shorter. So I bailed out of that, but I will come back. Mark my words, Berserk's gonna get read. Maybe not this year, but it will get read. So I started keeping a list. One of the frustrating things about manga is a lot of it's not available digitally in the States. It's only available in paper. That's like kind of frustrating. Because I like reading digital and I like not having stuff. And now I'm, again, staring down the barrel of 20th Century Boys, and I'm like, well, this is going to be just, I'm just going to have 10 phone books in my house, you know? Great. I got to deal with this now. I'll probably end up, the other thing is though, it's like, it's so good that like, I don't want to give it away, but I'll probably end up giving it away because I'm going to be like, I don't need 10 phone books in my house. I don't know. We'll see. For anyone curious, even though it's a slow burn, it's kind of like slice of life in Japan stuff, which you might not be into. The way he cartoons human beings, just like regular facial expressions, stuff that I usually find very boring, I find very exciting in his just absolutely perfect line weights and expressions and characters. Like, it's just such a beautiful book. I highly recommend it. I was a dingus for a long time and wouldn't read any manga. To me, when I was in college especially, there was like an anime manga club, and they were consistently not turning out, and this was a long time ago, so you know, obviously if you're in an anime manga club right now and watching this and you're like, is he gonna talk about me? Like, you know, no, obviously not. And a lot's changed from when I was in college to now, but those guys in that club were spending a lot of time watching anime and reading manga, which there's a lot of it. I understand now why they were doing that all the time. But they were, I'll talk about it in a second. They were consistently the worst comics. They were what they were making as far as art goes. Was just like not great. So I kind of like started to associate like not making good stuff with manga and anime and that kind of thing. And I think also like manga hadn't penetrated the culture as much as it has now. We gotta think about this guy. So yeah, I started a work journal. It is somewhere over here. It's over there. I'm gonna unclip. I'm gonna show you my work journal real quick. So it's kind of a work in progress. It's what my goals were for it. It's Skies of Arcadia. So what my goals were for it, here it is. It's a what is it? Karst crust? What is it? Karst. It's stone paper, works really well with ballpoint, very frictionless. It's very nice to write in. So what I did was I basically just like started keeping track of projects. It took me a while to realize that ballpoint works really well, but other stuff that needs time to set does not work well. So these pages are a little, oh my gosh, these pages are a little sloppy. Got some smudges. That's fine. Just a work journal. And basically like this is just like January, February, March. This is like goals for what I want to get done, you know? And then let's get it done. This is just like every week I kind of like just write down what I need to get done for the week and what my goals are. So that way I don't sit down and think, okay, what am I working on? What needs to get done? Like I wrote 3 scripts that I want to draw. I wrote, I've got 4 other ideas I want to script out. I've got regular work on top of it, regular coloring work. And then I've got like the stream and stuff and like that kind of thing. So I needed to just kind of get structured so that instead of me sitting down and being like, how do I start doing 15 pages? When at most I did, like last year I did 4, you know, drawing. And how do I do it in a timely fashion? I needed structure. So I was kind of like, okay, January, we're not even going to think about like final penciled inked pages. We're just going to try to do all the layouts. 14 pages, we're just going to lay it out. And that way I have structure going forward. So it's basically like one section's aspirational and the other section is like, what am I actually getting done? And like moving tasks. If like I don't complete a task, move it to the next week and like evaluate like, why did I not complete that task? How could I have done it better? Like, how could I have kind of figured it out? Or like what went wrong this week? You know, like did a project pop up that needed my immediate attention? Like how did that happen? Why did it happen? You know, you're not like beating yourself up over it and you're not setting unrealistic goals. Like the goal of this is to also figure out exactly how much I can do in a year while I'm also coloring. So that I'm not beating myself up for not having a finished comic every month, you know, that kind of thing. I'm not holding myself to like that kind of a standard. And then a section that I'm not going to show you, a bunch of brainstorming, just like putting ideas down so that I don't have to keep them in my head, you know, so I can try to organize my thoughts, and then not only organize my thoughts, but like let myself figure out bad ideas, maybe like ding them into good ideas. Yeah, I don't know. Just started keeping a work journal. Oh my god, I was talking this whole time and I didn't have my thing. Could you guys hear me? You guys could kind of hear me. And click back up. Sounds like a great idea, especially self-evaluation. Keep a Google Calendar, but you keep pushing stuff back. Interesting. Yeah, I was keeping a Google Calendar for, yeah, right, with the mic. Hey, fish. I was keeping a Google Calendar with coloring stuff in deadlines. I have to repeat everything. I think you guys heard me because Travis responded in a way that made it sound like he heard me. I think I was enunciating everything enough that my mic, this mic, by the way, there's a reason why it also picks up me swallowing my water. Like the microphone is a lav mic plugged into my DSLR and it's just picks up everything. Oh, we heard you. It wasn't bad. Okay, good. We were hearing you clearly. Excellent. Maybe I don't even need to clip my lav mic in. Anyway. Yeah, I have my lav mic. Usually I have the mics in OBS. This is a little inside baseball streaming stuff. Usually I have the mics cranked up to the max, and then I also go into the settings and crank up the gain in order to like so clear that you didn't even notice. And then I have to crank up the gain so much to get the mic, so I'm not, usually when people talk into a mic, they're not like hunching over here and like looking around and like, you know, they're stationary speaking into a mic. And so mics are designed to be like right in your face. You gotta like, there's a phrase, eat the microphone. The reason that I went lav mic is because when I'm like doing art, looking down, looking up, you know, like I'm not able to really do that. And I don't need a microphone between me and the art. So I plugged in this lav mic, and the DSLR, man, it's so loud in the DSLR. I'm at 60% volume right now. Like if I cranked it up, it would just clip like crazy. So yeah, this lav mic is a interesting new experience. I think it's less of a quality than the other microphone, but than the USB mic I had before, but it's easier. So I'm rolling with it. I don't know what we're doing with the background. I don't know if we're gonna keep where he's at. I'm just trying to like put in some stuff. I like this color because I don't get to use it normally in print. So anyway, oh yes, share the screen. That would be good. See, this is why this is why we do one shot and then that's it. That's it. So yeah, I'm just trying to like mess around with the background a little, figure out what we're doing mummy wise. We still need to kind of make him hunkier, like we're gonna get there eventually. I'm just trying to like play in the space. I don't know. I really want to like blend in some yellow into this so that it's not totally overpowered with blue. Yellow is of course not on our palette, but we might fudge a little bit at the end. I also kind of wanted to make it night. Those dual streams, big mic and streamer for art, is sort of weird. Yeah, I just don't think that, for what it's worth, using a lav mic is difficult for an art stream for the tech, because I had to get a Lumix G7 and a capture card. Oh, half face, half mic. Yeah. I had to get a Lumix G7 and a capture card in order to have a mic to even plug into the thing. If I plug it into the computer, it doesn't pick up anything at all. It's such a weird piece of equipment that I have going on right now. This is basically a step of me trying a lav mic before I get like a lav mic, a more professional lav mic, and then like an amp and a board and a USB cable that thing into the computer, and it starts costing me far more money than I make from the stream, which is almost nothing. I do it for you. I do it for the people. Yeah, so enough of me talking about microphones. I hope that answers your question about the work journal. It's basically because I'm trying a lot of different things this year, and I want to be able to kind of track my process, track my output, and keep myself on task. buddy of mine that I went to high school with, he got that same journal, Crast, whatever it is, and he writes in it every day as a kind of like a mantra, like routine that he likes to get into, so that he's writing every day. And it doesn't have to be, some of it's like, you know, stream of thought kind of stuff. He swears by it. He's like, it's helped me be, you know, more creative and that kind of thing. I wish I had time to just brainstorm every day, but oh man, there's only so much time in the day. Unfortunately. I wish I could have the bandwidth to spend like, this is not good. This is kind of working. Maybe purple? Do we have any purples in here? Maybe this. Kind of. I don't know if I'm into this or not. Yeah, I wish I had time to sit down and do like, you know, 3 hours of writing, 3 hours of drawing, 3 hours of coloring like every day. But I don't know if it necessarily works that way. I mean, I just described a regular day. Maybe it does work that way. We're cheating now. We're getting off palette because I'm using sliders. A few years ago, you took a class called Writing for Procrastinators, and we had to commit to writing 15 minutes a day, just stream of consciousness journaling. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you start getting into the habit of it, and it starts to really work for you. Once you start getting into the habit of it, it becomes weird to not do it, and then you start to just do it all the time. My friend has something like 500 days of always drawing something in a sketchbook and always writing something. I would love to see him make some finished work. Hopefully he will at some point. Not to put him on the spot on this stream. I don't know if he watches the stream or not. But I've always been a champion of his for a long time. All right, we're gonna try to warm up the face and the skin a little bit. We're gonna try to get in there. We're just gonna get in the Brendan. But yeah, I think those are like all really good habits to get into. Unfortunately, I am not focused enough, or I don't know, not I don't even know what to say, like what to call it. It's not that I'm not focused enough, like I am focused. There's too much. There's just too much. I'm a little overwhelmed usually with how much that I have to do. You know, I've been thinking about doing, I've been thinking about doing a like 3 different streams that are like creative video game streams that I have not done, not streams, like prepared videos that I haven't done because I just like don't have the time. I just don't, unfortunately. There's one that was going to be like a backdoor art history stream. It was going to start out as a Splatterhouse stream, and then it was going to start getting into art history mixed with Splatterhouse. I think it's going to be a great piece of video. However, I do not have the time to talk art history and Splatterhouse, unfortunately. This is not the world I live in. What if we play with the levels here? We gotta give him like a 5 o'clock shadow, don't we? Maybe playing with the levels is where we want to be. Does it need to be more blue? Whoa, we're in a weird space. We're in a very weird space, but I kind of like it. Does everything need to be more blue? Maybe. This is a little all over the place. Like this brown doesn't work for his pants. We can make it work eventually. It's just kind of going against the bluish place that we're trying to put him in. Let's think for a second. There's an idea. Let's just think. Here's what we're up against. In all the stuff that we've been doing, here's what we're up against. The skin's not really matching for the head and the rest of the body. I think that what we want to do is try to keep everything fairly cool and then have the skin feel fairly warm. We want to make it look like, since we're 100% beefcake, we want to make everything feel warm. We want to make the Brendan warm. Let's just wash it with some red, or a brownish red, since we're using mummy colors. Let's desat the eyes and mouth a little bit, because I think they're competing for attention. This is the exact situation that K. Michael Russell would not find himself in, because he would have thought about all this stuff in advance. But you know what? We're messing around. You and me in this place, we're messing around. I think we're getting there. I kind of want to go lighter, but he's entering this insane, like, here we plan before we act. Yeah. That's not how this stream works. I've never planned anything in my whole damn life. I'm not about to start now. So like he's entering this we're in a this is very RGB. What's happening in his shirt right now is an extremely RGB thing. Like this color is not cool. Photoshop is like, this is not cool. This is what the color's going. It's gonna be this gray. So like if you were like, hey, here's our Brendan cover, we're gonna hand it in, it's all done. Like what you're gonna think that he's gonna be this blue, right? You think you're like, oh, this blue on his shirt came out banging. We're gonna crush it out there. It's just so good. You're gonna get your printed copy, and it is going to be this gray. This gray color is where you're gonna end up. So this is important to know that we're in a place now where a few CMYK artists, few artists from print dare to tread. It can be okay. We're going to see if we can make it okay. Some of the value is a little high, or the light and dark is a little high. Feels a little bit like his shirt's like a neon sign. So we're going to try to scale it back just a little bit. But we do want you up here. That's where I'd want you. That's where I want you. The other thing is that like the fabric looks very shiny because of this, which is somewhere we don't want to be. So I think we're gonna kind of get in here and maybe try to like put it in like a middle ground a little bit, maybe. See, like this looks a little more dull. This looks a little more right to me. I think we just gotta like, man, it's that RGB high that like my CMYK brain is like not okay with. Everything in my body's like, oh, this isn't gonna print well. And, you know, the colorist jams don't print anywhere, so. I think we need to get this guy out. We're just gonna, oh no, my dog's getting pushy. She thinks she runs the place and she kind of does. Just trying to kind of get these folds right. Oh. What happened? Where did we go wrong? Did we go wrong? Did we go wrong? Let's try a thing. I mean, I'm not happy with the skin tone, and I think we might just start. I think what we need to do is just wipe the skin tone and start from scratch. But until we're gonna stop thinking about that for a second. I was wondering if we could like scale back the folds in the shirt. I don't know if it works for the some of these folds might look better in black. We're gonna play in the space. We could probably just like make the selection. One of the things that I've started to try to get used to is colorizing a lot of the line art. Oh, you know what I just remembered that I want to try to do? I wanted to try to learn how another artist does folds. There's a colorist who does folds. Tommy Moray, I think that's his name. He's the artist on Batman Catwoman right now, the Clay Mann book. He does folds so well. I might be getting his name wrong. He's got a name that I've like never spoken out loud before. So I'm stumbling over it. But yeah, I recognize his name. I in my mind, I don't know what the word is, how to pronounce it. This is a problem that I have. This is my problem, not his. But he does all these like beautiful folds. And I was like, man, I got to dissect that. And maybe I'll dissect that on this character, but we decided not to do that, apparently. Let's get a black. Oh, wait, we didn't get these. We didn't get these. Okay, let's get a black. We just want to darken some of these so that they kind of register as darker parts of the folds. Yes, Tomu. It's super nice. You got to work with him a little bit on Heroes in Crisis. Yeah, the dude's just so good. I think he's one of the best colorists in the game right now, to be completely honest. I was going to try to learn how to dissect his folds with this. Maybe we still will. I don't know. You know what I think is going to happen? I think that we're going to, well, that's a lot. We're going to kick this over to like probably another stream because I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish. I went so far off the rails that we ended up in a place that I did not assume we were going to be in and that I partially regret. Look. I didn't bring us here. 100% to Mayo. Oh, okay. Thank you. That helps me a lot, Travis. Yeah, his work, man. Oh, so good. I think we need to just redo the skin tones. And we should be good. I also want to do some kind of like bounce light, some like warmish stuff in here to make it feel more deserty in the shirt. Yeah, let's see what it looks like if we kick it over to CMYK just to be curious. Yep, just grade it right out. Do you see that? We could zoom in a little bit. So we went from this to that to that to that. Man, it sucks that we can't play in this space. I mean, we're going to for this, but in print, it sucks that we can't do it for print. Let's do a pass on the skin tones. Yeah, so anyway, I was gonna full on try to dissect like how he does what he does because I don't have the time to slow down and do that in my regular work, but on a colorist jam, I figured why not try to like learn something on stream? Oh, Kelly is getting pushy. She's like, I don't know if you could see her, if you could see her ears. She's right here. She's like, so are we gonna go out or what are we doing? Let's add a cut, and then while I'm doing that, we'll talk about what we're gonna do next. So obviously this isn't done, but Kelly needs to go out, unfortunately. So I think that what's gonna happen is we're gonna finish up this stream Saturday, maybe. I think we're going to work on it Saturday morning, which is, I know, kind of a lot for you guys, but let me replace your cartoons for just 1 second. If you do watch Saturday morning cartoons, is that a thing anymore? I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. And we're going to get a second art stream and we're going to finish this guy. I think that fresh look at the piece will help me like diagnose what's not working for me. Like it looks fine, but like we don't want it to look fine. We want it to look good. We want it to look banging, you know? We want Brendan to look like the beefcake that he is. Oh, girl, she's so pushy. She's so pushy. And so we want to get there. I think that part of it is we're just going to have to get out of this palette. You know what? Actually, we could take a blue instead. Ooh, there we go. Now we're cooking. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I think we've pushed it as far as this palette can take us. Like, I could get in here and I'm trying to evaluate before we start up again. I think we're kind of constrained to the palette. I kind of want to put some yellow in here just to add a complementary color. I know, you do too, girl. I know. Just to add a little complementary color in. She's like licking my arm. And then I also kind of want to focus on the skin in a way to make it as attractive as possible. And I think I need to slow down, and I need to do that with a clear head. And where I'm at right now with Kelly rushing me out the door and trying to rush through it right at the end, I don't think that's where we want to be. So for now, we're gonna, and I kind of want to put some bounce light in the shirt and maybe look at Tomeo's work a little bit and see if we can kind of ape his stuff just a tiny bit, maybe put our own spin on it, maybe learn a thing or two. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, I think we're going to call it here, and we're going to try to pick it up Saturday morning when we're a little more well rested, and hopefully we'll finish the colorist jam then. If we finish it quickly, we'll probably do some Fresno Nightcrawler stuff. We'll probably do some drawing. I don't know how quick it's going to go. We'll see. Till then, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for humoring me through my work journal stuff. I know that like this feels like I'm subscribing to the book The Secret, but I assure you that I'm not. It just, my brain is like a bunch of raccoons running around, and sometimes I need to focus a little. Sometimes I need a little help doing that. And if something like that works for you, you could probably try it too. Yeah. So thanks for hanging out, and we'll try to finish this jam on Saturday. Keep making comics, guys.